Hi, welcome to my Makeup Monday for Monday the 26th of May 2025. My name's Denise McCabe and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia on the New South Wales Central Coast, so welcome. Today I'm going to play with a new bundle that I got last week. I've had a bit of fun playing with it today, and I'm going to pretty much case the catalogue for this one, but I can show you 4 cards I've made already with the bundle, and it's a really cool bundle, and it's something that Stampin' Up! I don't think has ever done before, and I'm really excited to show it to you. So let's go down to the craft desk and we can get started. Okay, so we're going to have a look at the Extraordinary Flora bundle. It's on page 84 and 85 in your catalogue, and it's a photopolymer stamp, stamp set and die. There's one die that cuts all these flowers out, and there's some really cute little tiny font sentiments for the extraordinary couple. Congratulations, with love, and there's just these little dashed lines that you could use as a background stamp. But the additional product this week, to this bundle, is the Extraordinary Flora Washi Tape. It's really cool. And here it is. And I've been having so much fun playing with it. It's quite wide. It's 8.3 centimeters wide, and it's got 2 sections of floral designs on it. So I'll show you that when we wind it out. It's really cool. Now, if you were going to put your washi tape straight down onto your cutting plate and die cut it and make it like little stickers, you would have to make sure that your cutting plate is a sort of a new one that's not got any cuts and stuff in it. I'll show you when I bring my cut emboss machine in, because otherwise your washi tape's going to get all the grit and paper scraps onto the sticky part. You could put your washi tape on window sheet if you wanted to use it as like stickers, and then you could run it through the embossing machine and then peel it off the window sheet, and they would be like little stickers. But what I've been doing is I've been putting it onto cardstock and just leaving it on cardstock and die cutting it through with the cardstock. So I'll show you how we're going to do that. So let me put my catalogue to one side. I thought we'd have a go at trying to case this card. Oops, that stopped my recording. No, I bumped my mouse, so I just didn't want to stop it. I thought I'd try and sort of case this card in the catalogue. So I'll put my catalogue to one side. I'll leave it open, but I'll bring in some cards I've made with it. Now, this was my first card I made using basic beige, and it's got similarities to the one in the catalogue that we're going to case, but I've stamped a background piece of basic beige with the stamp. I've put the washi tape onto white cardstock and run it through the cut emboss machine, and I've put it onto a textured note die. I heat embossed the congratulations, and I've wrapped some of the gold thread around my die cut. That thread is on the last chance product list, and I've used the iridescent foil gems, and inside I've also heat embossed for the extraordinary couple with love and put in another die cut. I kind of think this might be my son's wedding card. I did have another stamp set in mind that I was going to use, but I really liked the way this turned out. So, you know, maybe that'll be his wedding card. Let's just put that one here. Then I got this one on cloud cover, and I also, during the week in my delivery, I got the mini corrugated embossing folder, so I just had to have a play with that. And what I've done with this one, I've die cut one of the stylish shaped circles, and I've just put all the washi tape die cuts around like a wreath, and stamped with love, wrapped some white baker's twine around it. Haven't stamped inside. That's that one. This is one that's a little bit interesting. You don't know how long it took me to get that layout with the flowers. I was just being silly and fussying around too much. But this embossing folder is the embossing folder that I sort of didn't think I needed in the Celebratory Sips suite, and it's called the Glass and Gardens embossing folder. So obviously this is the garden part of embossing folder, and I thought it matches this Extraordinary Flora bundle so perfectly. So I cut a 6cm panel and ran through the embossing folder. I blended some crumb cake ink over the top. I used the Simply Said stamp set for my sentiment and just used up some of my leftover washi tape flowers to create that one, and I've popped one inside. So that's another card I had to play with. And then this one is very dramatic. And I'm not quite sure if I like it or not, but anyway, I stamped the stamp on black cardstock and embossed it with gold embossing powder. Then I went back to my Gallery Blooms suite and I die cut the frames. I die cut the frames using the brushed gold foil, basic beige, and one of the pieces of the Gallery Blooms Designer Series paper. So of course I've got this frame and this frame in the paper, and I've got this frame and this frame in the basic beige, and I've got this frame and this panel in the gold. So I've mixed all my frames and pieces together, and then I just die cut my flowers out and popped them on the edge of the frame using glue dots. And once again I've used the iridescent foil gems, and I just stamped in Memento Black for the Extraordinary Couple. Congratulations. I really like that card too, and it's quite dramatic, I think. So they're my playing cards that the ones I played with. I'd love to know in the comments which one you think is the one which one's your favorite. I'm tending towards this one. I really like this one, but I'm tending to go back to my first card. But anyway, let's have a play with it, and you can see how this all works. So let me just put those to one side. Whoops. Okay, so because we're going to sort of kind of copy this catalogue one, I've got my crumb cake cardstock, and the catalogue card, I don't know if you can see it, they've stamped the image straight onto the card base. I never really like doing that. I really like to do it onto a matting piece. So I have a matting piece. So I've got my crumb cake card base, and here it is. I've cut it as a tent fold card. I really like tent fold cards. I know some people don't, but they are one of my favourite folds. Having them stand like this for display, I like that. So I've got my matting piece, which is 10 centimetres by 14.4. I've got two stylish shaped circle dies because I'm not quite sure which size I want to go with. And I've got a piece of cardstock that's 9 centimetres by about 14 centimetres. That's what you really need. I think this one could be 15 centimetres, but that's for my washi tape. So let me see what we're going to do first. Let's stamp put our card base to one side. I'll get my big block. So this is here is the stamp set. And it's just the one die. It's one die. So the bundle is $75.50, so that's the stamp set and die. The washi tape is additional, and it's $27. And it does have a lot on it. It's got, it tells you somewhere, 4.1 meters is coming to mind. Let me just look, page 125. I could be wrong. Here we go. Oh no, I'm wrong. 9.1 meters. So it's 8.3 centimeters wide and it's 9.1 meters long. Or if you want that in inches, it's 3¼ inches wide and 10 yards long. so you get a lot of it on the page, on the roll. So let me, what was I doing? I was getting my stamp, that's right. Now, you know how when you get your photopolymer stamps, you get two sort of window sheets? You get the thicker window sheet. I tend to keep that and put that over my stamps. But you get this other flimsier one. You could put your washi tape onto that if you wanted to use it as stickers, and because they would die cut and then you would peel them off. So maybe that's an option with that piece. That's just a thought. So I am going to place that onto my large block, and I'm going to get my crumb cake ink, because I am just going to do tone on tone with my crumb cake ink, and then we'll start playing with the washi tape. So I'm just inking up my stamp. Okay, and I'm going to go across my cardstock, because it, can you see, it sort of fits but doesn't go right across. So if I do it 1, 2, that works better. So let me just place that down, press it down nice and hard. So we've got that coming along. I'm just going to ink it up again. I might spin it round this way, and then we'll get some different sort of imagery. And I'm just going to go up there. So it's just using it like a background stamp. And it's not quite as big as our background stamps, but you do need your biggest block. There we go. So that's that. That's our matting piece. I mean, you could just stamp this stamp and colour it in with your blends. I haven't done that yet. I've still got that to do. Okay, so let's take that off our block, because we won't be using that stamp again. But as you can see, it stamps quite nicely. I've got a bag with all my little bits left over. Put that back in there. Okay, so now we're going to get our washi tape prepared. Get rid of my big block. So that's, and there's my little flimsy sheet that I'm hanging on to in case I want to have a play with that. So that's how it's going to go onto our card base. And then I'm going to decide, the sample in the catalogue has got some of it cut off, and I don't know if I want to do that yet, so I'm still thinking about it. I'm sort of, you know, it's a work in progress really. I think they've used the biggest stylish shape die, but I think I might not cut it off, but there's a smaller one too. So let's get our piece of paper, a cardstock, for our washi tape. Now, it is hard to find the end when you open it, so that's why I've got a little flag underneath, so I just stick that back there so I can easily find the end. It is quite sticky, so you need to peel it off. I'll get rid of my little flaggy piece. So you can see as you peel it off, it's quite firm, and there's that flower here. Can you see that one? That's repeated down here. So that's the panel. So that's going into the next lot of the next panel. Does that make sense? So I'm going to put this down on my cardstock, but I'm going to keep this one off because I want that for my next lot of cards. So I'm going to just pop that there. Now don't worry about any bubbles that you might get, because your bone folder is your best friend. Now I haven't put that on very straight, but that doesn't matter either. Your bone folder is your best friend. Just run that over and it gets any wrinkles out of your washi tape. Okay, So that's it stuck on. Now I'm just going to get my snips and cut across here. And then I'm going to put my little flag back in underneath it so I can I know where the end is. Does that make sense? I hope that's making sense to everybody. Okay, so I've put it on a little bit crooked, but that's okay. Now I'm going to grab the die and you just line it up with the floral images. It just goes straight over the top like so. And we're just going to die cut them out. So let me bring in my cut emboss machine and we'll do that. Okay, so this is what I mean. My plates are quite hacked, and if you put the washi tape straight down onto that, you would pick up all the little in-ground cutting pieces of cardstock, and you can see, I don't know if you can see, there's sort of even foil in mine. So quite hacked. So putting washi tape straight down on that to die cut, you get all this dirt and grime in your washi tape and it might not stick. So that's why I'm thinking window sheet or this flimsy piece might be a good idea. Okay, so this is our one on cardstock. So I'm just lining it up. And I want to line it up because your die actually sort of is a little bit slippery on top of the washi tape because the washi tape's sort of got a sheen to it. So I'm just... So you will need some tape to tape it down. That's pretty useless, that tape now, because it's pretty worn out. Let me grab... They're too little. I'm going to get rid of those. I'm going to get a nice fresh piece. So this is the 3M Post-it tape, and it's labelling and cover-up tape. I ordered it online. I think it was through Amazon. I can't remember, but it is the best. It's so good for this sort of thing. But if you've got washi tape, funny that you'd be taping it down with washi tape, that would work as well. Okay. Or painter's tape. Sometimes painter's tape can be a little bit brutal. So just be careful if you're using painter's tape. I'm just making sure this is lined up again before I tape it down. Just wanting to be as spot on as I can get it. Okay, where's my other plate? Here it is. So I'm just going to die cut it. So it's just like if you've stamped something and you're die cutting it. It's just the same. Okay, put that back there. Now I'm going to just take this plate off and put my die cutting machine away. Back over on the bed. There we go. But we've got the plate. It's gotten dark outside now, so I'm just shutting my drape. Okay, so I'm going to lift this off. So some of them have already fallen out. So let's just move them to one side. And get rid of my plate now. Okay, and then there's the rest here. So you've got purples and pinks in one panel, and these are sort of a bit more orangey pink. Does that? That's how I would describe them anyway. So that's what's left over. I just throw that. I don't think you can use that for anything. Well, I probably wouldn't, because I think enough is enough. Okay. So these are all our little die cuts. Pretty cute, aren't they? So I'm going to put this one here to try and cover up my glare. Don't know if that's going to help. Okay, so we've got all these die cuts. Now, if you really wanted to use it as washi, you could peel them off your cardstock, but I like the way they turn out. I really do. So you've got all these. That's why you can see I've got a little bag. Oh, sorry, that was too high. How cool are they? No colouring whatsoever. I mean, I couldn't blend like that. Anyway, let's have a little think. I've got my other bag of bits. So we'll kind of bring in our catalogue. Now, I thought I might just stamp congratulations in crumb cake. The one I think is going to be my son's wedding card. I've done it in heat embossing, but I think I'll just do crumb cake for my sentiment. And I'm thinking of doing it so that I know, if I do it like a wreath, I know where I'm going to put things. So that looks, I'm going to go with the smaller circle this time, because that looks, congratulations fits quite well. So we'll stamp that. And then, oops, I'm getting caught up on everything. And you can see it's quite a small little stamp, but it packs a punch. There we go. And the beauty of stamping onto a circle is that you can't stamp crooked because you can just turn it to straighten it. So that's it stamped onto the circle. So I don't think I want to have it hanging off and cut it off. I don't want to do that. So let's position some of our framework to make it a wreath is what I'm trying to say. So I'm just going to position some things, some floral pieces, and then we'll just, so you just pick out which you want. Some of them curve the way you want them, some of them don't, so you do have to sort of be mindful of that. And then I just stuck in, I just picked up some of these larger flowers and popped them to cover up bits. Does that make sense? I hope it does. That's why you're left with so many, because, you know, it's sort of, you've got so many pieces to play with. I'm not sure if I want to use this big one, but I might. Let's just have a little think. Oh yes, I do think I like that. So I'll pop that one there. And I know I'm just placing at the moment. Now I just need something to go there. I wonder if this piece would work. Yes, that looks like it could work. And then if I wanted to, I could get another one of these little flowers and pop it somewhere. Now if that's too big, we could go with something a little bit smaller. Okay, I think we've sort of got something coming together. So let me just carefully, oh, see, that didn't go carefully, did it? Slide things off, and I'm going to show you how I attached it. I'm going to get my glue, and I'm just going to put a little line of glue all the way around the edge of my circle. I found that was the easiest way of doing it. And then I'm just going to come back in and attach my floral pieces to my circle like so. Just press it down onto my glue. Actually, I want this underneath here, so I'm just going to tuck that in now. like so. Okay, now I've got my big rose that I'm using. I'm going to put this down here like so. See how the ring of glue is making it quite easy to attach? You could attach them with glue dots, that would work as well. And then this one's going to go here. How easy is it to make a wreath? I think this is my favourite thing to do, but I do still like this card. I still keep going back to it. Okay, now let me just work out which one I want to use. If I do that, is that going to... Yeah, I think it is. If I do that, put that like so, and then this one can just go here. How cool is that? That's our wreath done. What do you think? I've got glue everywhere. Let me wipe up my glass mat. Because I've got a bit of a sticky situation here. How cool is that? What do you think? Do you think that's good? Now, I'm definitely not cutting the side off. I'm going to put this back over here. Oops, now I have covered up some of my congratulations, and I didn't realise I'd done that. Let's see if I can just manoeuvre that piece off a little bit and twist it over a fraction. There we go. Yay. Yay. Now, I might get my blending brush, and I'm just going to come around and do the edges on my matting piece that's stamped, just to make it a little bit more, I don't know, not sort of such sharp edges. Does that make sense? I think I've said that so much today. So I'm glad we had a dry weekend. As people know, the Central Coast and the Mid-North Coast got battered last week with rain. I think there's some rain coming back, but hopefully it won't be as bad, so people can dry out, because they need to dry out. Okay, so that's my matting piece. Yes, I like that with a bit of ink blending. And I think I'm going to just go over to one side. Now the other thing you can do, you can pop some more little flowers around if you want, and pop it up on dimensionals. If you want to sort of add a couple of little flowers here and there, we might do that. Let's get the mini dimensionals, because these are little, and we might just add a little dimensional flower. Now you do have to be mindful that because the washi tape has a sheen to it, sometimes the dimensionals don't stick first time, so you just have to be mindful of that, and just make sure they've stuck on. Yep, that's stuck. And what's this one? This one can go over. This one can go here, I think. Yeah. There we go. Now I might pop that all up on dimensionals as well, onto my card base, and then I'll use big dimensionals for that. And you can sort of put the dimensional over the circle and the flower, just to, if you're worried that the glue's not going to hold it well enough. I'm sure it will, but if you're worried, you can do that. So let me just, and I think this crumb cake one lends itself to linen thread. I think it has to have something like that. So let's smooth our card base. And I'm going to kind of go with the design of the catalogue, but I'm not going to cut the side of my circle off. There we go. I think that looks quite nice. And see, I've got some left over. That's why you can see I'm getting a bag of leftovers. That's quite nice. I think that looks quite nice. Now let's grab some linen thread, not gold. Not gold this time round. Now, I could wrap it round like I've done these ones. I'm just wondering if I want to do that or if I want to do a bow. Let's have a look. How are we going? 30 minutes. I think it's time to stop, Denise. No, I don't want to do that on this card. I think we will just try and do a double bow quickly. If we can do a double bow quickly. Ha ha ha. So when you're doing a double bow, double your linen thread over and then just tie your bow as normal. And then you just have to work out which ones are your tails. So this loop is going to be my tail. And then this one is my other tail. I'm just getting it untwisted. And these are my loops. So if we pull that in, okay, so you can see that that's my tail. I'll cut that off. And I do need to play with it a little bit and trim up my tails so that they're even. There we go. So I'll trim them up so that they're even. Now you know that I do like to fray my linen threads and things like that, but I don't know whether I'll do that today. I'll just have a little think about it. I think that could just go off to the side like so, maybe. And I don't know if my tails are even. Let's just trim them again. Are they even? They're even now. Okay. I do fiddle and fuss with my bows. Alright, let's get this on. I'm going to do this down flat. Let's get this on. So it's a beautiful bundle, but a standalone bundle. It's beautiful, but I think you just have to have the washi tape. I think it's just a must because it's beautiful. And like, you can, if the washi tape becomes like unavailable or they retire it down the track, you can just keep creating with the stamp set and colour your own flowers. But the washi tape is just stunning. I do like it. Okay, I think I shall put my little glue dot here. And I'm going to stick my little bow there. That looks pretty cute. Quite happy with that. I have got a little bit of glue spurtage up here, so I'm just going to deal with that while I can. And let me think, I don't know what embellishments they've used on this. They're white-ish. Okay, let's have a look in our embellishment tin. So there's the iridescent pearls. There's the Storybook Moments one, which I used on this card. What are they? They are the antique pearls. You know what? Maybe they would look good. There's the iridescent foil gems as well. Where did I put those? There's those. They're the ones I used on this one. You know what? I'm going to go with those again because they kind of look white. I'm gonna have to buy another pack of these because I've been using them. I used them on this card. Oh, I didn't put any embellishments on this card. That's a no-no. Okay, let's just have a look. I might put one up here. So there's small and large. And I might put one down here. This one I think I just want to move over a little bit. And there we go. That's better. I like that better. So that is our card for today. I'll grab an insert because I will. And that's the washi tape. Let me put, oh no, look, I'll just leave them there. How cool is this card? Oh, I do think this is the wedding card. So that's got congratulations like that one. Maybe I'll just stamp with love inside. Maybe. Where's my... There we go. And... I am going to put it just down the bottom because that's a me thing. I like my sentiments out of the way. Because I just do. And they will be cleaned off in a moment. But what I can do is I can come back in here, and that's tone on tone. I can put that there. So I'm going to grab some glue dots so you can tizzy up the inside of your card with anything left over if you wish. Or you can tizzy up your envelope. So that's decorating the inside of our card. It's just beautiful. I just really love it. The first thing when I saw this in the annual catalogue when we were at, on stage was I thought, oh my goodness, how easy would that be to do a scrapbooking border? But I'm not quite sure whether it would be that easy because it's quite stiff to come off the roll, and it probably would, and maybe I should give it a go. There we go, that's our card for today. I've got things everywhere. So there's the washi tape. There's leftovers. And my little bag of bits and pieces. And you could certainly put this across a scrapbooking page as a border, and you could use it as embellishing around your photos as well. So there's a few. I've got 5 now. Goodness, I've probably created a class. I won't be doing this one in a class because that's a bit tricky. But there we go. I haven't put any embellishments on that. But how cool are all these cards? Using the Extraordinary Flora bundle and washi tape. So don't overlook it. Have a look at it in the catalogue and have a play, because as I said, I don't recall Stampin' Up! Ever bringing anything like this out before, and I love it when they do something different and something new and something interesting, because it just makes your crafting even more fun. So let me go back to face view. There we go. So there you go. Oh, that's glaring. Is that better? I'll take a photo and put it up properly. But it's really pretty. Trust me. I've got to try and not keep creating and playing, and then I lose my daylight and I've got to have all these silly lamps that glare. But yeah, that's our card for today. So I hope you like it. Please have a look at it. It's a beautiful bundle and the washi tape is gorgeous. So have a look at it in the catalogue. Thank you for watching. Please give me a thumbs up and like and share my channel as I'm trying to grow it. I'll be back on Wednesday at 2 o'clock, and this Wednesday is my Make and Create. So if you placed an order with me last month in April over $50, you would have received a little card pack in the mail. Hopefully it didn't get drowned in the rain, and we will make that card up on Wednesday. So have a great start to your week, and I will see you on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Bye for now.